guys, it's Melissa here, and welcome back to part two of our series on clarity. You guys, this is probably one of the best series that we've done because we're asking you to dig deep, pull back the layers, and get vulnerable with why you're doing what you're doing. Because if anyone out there is doing real estate and you're doing it just for the money or just the sake of trying to do an activity, but you're not leaning into your purpose, this is the episode for you. So, again, this is part two of our clarity series. We can't wait to see you on the other side. Let's do this. See you guys soon.
So, the next question is, do you feel clear about who you are and what's important? Do you feel clear about who you are and what's important? Now, it sounds very similar to the first question of what do you feel most certain and clear about in your life right now, but it is pretty different because this one is more a question of identity. So, do you feel clear of who you are and what's important? So, Oscar, you ready to roll?
Yeah, my mind's everywhere on this.
Same.
Do I feel clear about who I am? I mean, it's if I go with me being a person, then I know that I'm a child of God. That's basically what I. This is the first thing that came into my mind. Again, not to just make this a religious podcast, but that's the first thing. I am a child of God. I have that song playing in my mind. um, but also, you know, after all the things that I've done, for the last past of my adult life, I am a connector and problem solver. That's what it is. I feel the most happy and the most fulfilled when I solve someone else's problem and when I connect the dots for someone. That's like that the emotional gain. Like, I mean, it's almost like if I can do that without any financial gain, I would be happy for the rest of my life. Right? If the money is not a problem, it's like I can just connect people with someone else and just problem solve for people every single day, and I would be just happy. Like at the end of the day, it's like I accomplished so much helping people.
Oh man,
That's what I'm clear about right now.
that's so awesome, bro. And I do want to ask a follow-up question because I think this could be so helpful for people that's listening. Do you feel like you're on that path of doing those things today?
Yes, because I feel like I can help people without asking for money. Like all the time. Okay, I'm not saying all. I'm not saying like sometimes would like to get something for my time, right? For my experience and everything, right? And that's, but I would like to get it to a point where like you can call me and I won't ask for anything back.
Yeah.
Because I'm fulfilled, right? I mean,
Right.
I don't need your money. Like I'll help you and I don't need your money, right? I'm not there yet.
And here's the significance of that question and why I asked, because to get there, you need to put things in place. And so, guys, it's okay to not be where these questions may take you. The purpose of these questions is to get you to think of where you want to be and who you want to be so that you could start laying the blocks and the foundation to get there. And so right now, Oscar is laying the blocks and the foundation to get to where he needs to be in a matter of financial freedom to then continue to help people freely. He helps people today, but it's scaled to an amount. I can't always do it because I'm still implementing this freedom that I need to be able to get there. And so please don't feel stressed out that you're not there right now. This is a process. And this is the $1 million question. What would you do if you had no money, if you had all the money in the world and life just was not a problem? what would you do? It's that this is another way of asking that question. And so understanding what you would do and starting to implement piece by piece of those things, laying brick by brick until you get to freedom, is the process. And so in Oscar's, the reason why I asked that follow-up question was to highlight that to everyone that's listening, that it's okay to be where you are, but put a plan in place so that you can live the life that you want to live.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Melissa.
I love that. That was so good, by the way.
Thank you.
So, and I love how you reframed that. You said, like, let's say you had all the money, like, what would be your purpose? So, the one thing I feel clear about is that over and over again in my life, it's affirmed that, like, I'm inspirational, I'm an encourager, I'm positive, I impact people. Like, that's one thing that I know that I'm made for here. Do I feel like I do those things all the time? I've become more intentional over the
Mhm.
past few months to the Flip Tip Tuesdays, things like that. Um, so that's what I feel most clear about. Am I clear about what's important? Yeah, I feel like I have my priorities in check. I like God, faith, family, and then all the rest just comes,
Mhm.
you know. It's not
Yeah.
very it's not very deep, but mine's very simple.
It to me, it's still very deep. Very simple is still very deep because you now know your path of having financial freedom, because I think it always comes from having that freedom to then motivate and impact other people. And you're starting to do it even while still working in your 9 to 5, but you're still impacting people. But is it as much people that you can impact if you were free? Probably not.
No.
Mm.
But it's the beginning, it's the start. You're
Mhm.
still living within your purpose. Now it just needs to be magnified and to more people. So to me, it's still very deep because I kind of see the progress and where you're going with it. And I think this is true for any one of us, anyone that's listening. My encouragement, if you're not walking in some degree of your purpose today, not saying that you could do it 100% because you may have jobs and kids and you got to provide and you got to do all of these things that life requires you to do. That's okay. But schedule time to start living and dabbling in your purpose, because that's going to give you the energy and the focus to get out of the golden handcuffs to then walk into your purpose full time. And something just different just happens once you start doing that, right? And so I'm not to full freedom yet, but I started walking in my purpose, I would say within the last year or two, starting to implement these little things. Like even doing this podcast is a part of my purpose, right?
Mhm.
Like being able to minister and help people and share and educate and all these little things. Those things fill me up. It filled me up so much. But at the same time, I'm working on building my empire so that I could do this full time and I don't have to worry about money, and that's not going to be a problem. Putting in the systems in place so that that money continues to work and roll around, right? Fantastic answers, and I'm sure the viewers and listeners, y'all answers are just as good. If you guys want, comment below, reach out to us and let us know what some of your answers are, and if you want us to break it down or you need guidance on that, we'll be more than happy to help. So let's roll into the final question. Final question. What do you feel like you're living in alignment and congruent to the best of who you are? Ooh, this is it's a tough one, and it's a great follow-up from the last one. Do you feel like you're living in alignment and congruent to the best of who you are?
Mm.
We'll do it one more time. Do you feel like you're living in alignment and congruent to the best of who you are? Oscar.
Hmm. I would say no. I'm not living in alignment with the best who I am. I would say I'm there. I'm on the right path already. But there are a lot of things that I need to still rely on, and it's still to learn to be the best who I am. Just I don't know, my philosophy or my mindset's always, you have something to improve on always. So, but am I living my best life right now with my family? I think so. Yeah, with my business now, there's always improvement. There's always things that I can do.
Mhm.
But yeah, God's blessed me with a family that we're together, and a wife that's we've been married for 15 years, and two teenage daughter who's like rebellious but then still follow and listen to me, you know what I mean, like. So I'm living my best life in terms of my family. Business wise, I there's always, to me, there's always an improvement. There's always something. I always say my thing with people, I always try to encourage people, and I believe this for myself. It's like my best and our best is yet to come. I always say that to people because
Yeah,
there's always something better if you follow your path and you follow in your purpose, God wise and life wise. The best is always yet to come.
I love that.
Me
I
too.
love that. So awesome,
Can I add
Melissa.
something?
Oh yeah, please.
So I'm just listening to Oscar. And so you said that one area that you thrive is solving problems and helping
Hmm.
people.
Hmm.
Do you feel like you're doing that today though, correct?
Yes. Hmm.
Do you
But
feel like
not
you
not 100%. Like at one point, I need to stop because I still need to um,
Work.
be in my business. Like I can't do
Yeah.
this. Like I can just be on the phone 8 hours a day and be like, okay, time for dinner.
for sure. For sure.
Hmm.
So I guess I'm just curious, like what would that look like for you to align more so? Like can you give an example of something that you could do in your business? I'm just curious.
Yeah. Systems. Uh, having work on my business in the sense that I be in the owner box, right? That would be the goal. Having cash flowing properties that would just and someone to manage those properties,
Hmm.
right? So
Mhm.
that the money would just come in. And again, I'm not asking for 100% of that income, because if I have a business, there are business expenses. I need to hire people and everything,
Yeah.
but enough multiple stream of income, whether if it's from real estate, from other businesses that is geared toward helping people, right? So I live my purposes.
Mhm.
With real estate, you're helping people, providing housing, quality housing.
Yeah.
When you flip, you're helping first-time homeowners, provide some, give them a place to live, right? So as long as that engine is running with someone running it, I'm okay with that portion of that income for me passively, so I can get to do what I love to do.
Love it. That
Hmm.
was perfect.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Okay, cool.
You're up.
Do you know what my answer is? My answer is a firm no. So do we need to repeat the question?
Let's repeat the question for those who just doesn't even remember.
Okay.
Do you feel like you're living in alignment and congruent to the best of who you are?
So I would say that anybody that's still trying to do a 9 to 5, grind it out, be a parent, or whatever you have on your plate and make this real estate dream thing come true. No, I feel like I'm spread way too thin. I've got so many things, so many fires burning. Um, but I will say that I'm getting there. So I have a lot of hope,
Hmm.
right? Because
Yeah.
I'm leaning into my purpose. I'm doing things intentionally that I am aligning to my best life or my purpose. And I will say that by getting these 5 rentals this year, I had no idea how much I would impact people. Like, there were other investors on one deal that's like, "We're just gonna kick them out in 30 days." I'm like, "I want this house. I want this deal. They can stay there." This guy is on dialysis. Where would he have gone? They had no backup plan. I'm sure he'd figure it out, but it's like, I can't just throw somebody out like that. So, like, every single one of, like, my tenants, we wish them a happy Thanksgiving this last week, and they're like, "You are such a blessing. Like, we appreciate you so much. So grateful for you." And that, like, fills my cup, and I never expected that in rentals because all you hear are all these horror stories of how terrible it is and how much people don't pay, they're gonna try to take advantage of you, and I have not found that to be true
Mhm.
because I treat people very well. And I think how you treat people in business are how they're going to treat you in return. Just hands down.
Absolutely.
And when they
Mm.
don't, that's okay. Life isn't fair. Period.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So, so you're also on your journey to getting there, to that place of being in alignment. Um, and I feel like we hammered this home where the purpose of these questions is so that you could reverse engineer how you could get in alignment to where and who you want to be, right? And set up the right plans of who you want to be. Because if these questions have not provoked you to understand who you want to be, where you want to be, what you're going to be in alignment to, then we've missed the mark. So hopefully a lot of these questions is kind of showing you the direction, almost like a compass, as to where you want to go. And now it's up to you, while working a 9 to 5 or while being a business owner, to start going in that direction. Although you may not be there today, but this is what we're aspiring to achieve. Make sense, gang?
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love it. So, as a reminder to everyone listening in, we're going to put all of these questions below, right? So, they're going to be in the show notes. And really, guys, like Keston worked hard on this. We're all here showing up. We're being very, very vulnerable. If this has impacted you, please share this. Please comment
Mm-hmm.
below. Please put it, when we share this, they're on Facebook, say, this is stellar. This brought so much clarity, and provide what that is. Let one of us help you because we're all on this journey together. We're all in different places, but we're all on it together.
Absolutely. So before we go, and this is the last part that I'm going to share on this podcast, is there's a little exercise for us to do. And let's see if we could actually do it on this podcast. So here's what I want you guys to do. And there's so much more to this, guys. There's so much more, but this is like such a compact version of what we're actually doing. But here's a key takeaway that I want you guys to implement in your lives. Oscar and Melissa, you guys are going to be my participants. So I want you to come up with 3 words for yourself. 3 words for self. Now, these words should be who you want to be in the future. So 3 words for yourself that would describe you as to who you want to be in the future. Now, there may be deeper meanings to those words for you, but I want you to have 3 words that describes you. For example, simply because I know I'm giving you guys time to write this down, I'll give you guys my words, right?
Ew.
And I actually have 4 words because
Of course you do.
I'm an overachiever. I just need as much as possible. So my 4 words that I have to describe me is servant leader, knowledgeable, blunt, and respectful. Those are the 3 words that I have for myself. Again, servant leader, knowledgeable, blunt, and respectful. And of course, there's a reason for why I picked each one of those words. And so I could just share it real quick. So a servant leader, like my goal is to be like Christ. And so serving people while leading. So serving by example, being that leader, being the change you want to see type of lifestyle. And so serving by example. And so that is who I want to be. That's what I want to be every day. This is what I remind myself of every single day. Right. Knowledgeable. I think it's very hard to have impact with people if you don't know what you're talking about. you have to know what you're talking about. And so that now forces me to learn something every day. And so I legit either read a book or I try to learn something every single day because I just want to be filled with knowledge. I want to be able to help people on multiple different topics. I want to be an expert in these fields. So I learn every day. And so knowledgeable is a word that I also have. Blunt. So blunt has I would say a kind of harsh connotation to it. And that's because I'm a little harsh at times. But what I really, this word for me really means being upfront and not to lie. I always want to be authentic in what I share. I'm not going to tell somebody something they, because it's what they want to hear. So I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be very authentic to who I am. I'm not going to beat around the bush and give you some type of response that is not true to who I am. And so blunt, that's where that word comes from. And then respectful is I just always want to, the word respectful, I think about at my homegoing service, my memorial, and people are talking about me, that dash, right? From my birth to my death. I want to be known as like, oh man, that guy was really respectable, right? And so I try to live every day to show that where I honor people, I treat them with respect, and they treat me back with respect, so that would be one of the words that they describe me at my funeral. And so
Mhm.
that's the reason for those words for me. And so every day, and I'll give you guys an exercise, but every day I'm reminded of these words, and that's how I want to show up daily. So I hope that was able to help you guys.
That was awesome. This goes back to your why.
It does.
Like a lot of those words, the knowledge and then respectable, those are the 2 that point out to me.
Absolutely.
That's why you gotta know your why.
You,
Mhm.
it all guys, this all aligns. This all aligns. This is not like just pulled out of somewhere, anywhere. It all aligns as to why we're building up all of these things, because then it's going to go into our 90-day planning and all that type of
Yeah.
stuff. That's going to be incredible. So Oscar, you've been
Mhm.
first. Were you able to come up with 3 words that you
Yeah, yeah.
awesome. Let's hear
It's
it.
actually pretty easy for me because this is always been in my mind, right? A part of the personality that I want to be. But the number one is I always want to be a catalyst. That's the word,
Mm,
right? To create change, to spark something in others, to enable people. Like I
mhm,
always want to. Every conversation I have with people, I want to excite them to do something. So I see myself as a catalyst, right? I mean, every time I speak to Melissa, I'm just like, I got to do that now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So I'm
that's
good
a
at
great
like
word.
enabling people, like, and I want to stay in that, right? Number two is, I mean, this always been in my mind. I want to be a philanthropist, right? So I
mm,
want to give things away, basically, just give things away, knowledge, assets, wealth, whatever. I just want to give it away. If I can, I want to just give it all away, right? Because we know our treasures in heaven, not here. That's my verse, right? It's just I put in my heart, right?
mhm,
Number three is I want to stay humble because I
mm,
know at the end of the day, if I gain all that, if I'm arrogant, if I'm not humble, everything's gonna crumble,
mhm.
right? So those are the things that I will always have to remember in the future, right? And now what I want to be, right? Just catalyst, a philanthropist, and being someone who's always humble.
So good. So good. Melissa.
Stole mine. Oscar, did you read my mind? I'm, like, being legit, like, it's written
Yeah.
down. Okay, so those are great too, by the way. So number 1, I have intentional. Because I know that's such a wide word, right? And we are the intentional investor. But if I think about my life, I always want to be somebody that has a servant heart. And so
Mhm.
whether it's intentionality of like showing appreciation for my daughter's teacher through just delivering cookies to her or doing something special for a neighbor, like I want to be intentional in everything. And even if it comes down to like properties we buy and knowing what I'm going to do for that future homeowner, like there's intention behind a lot of the blessings that we give. That's number 1. Number 2, inspirational. I want to encourage people to be their very best.
Mhm.
If I look at every relationship I've had, even ex-boyfriends, this is
Ooh,
true. This is
Mm,
deep. I've
yeah.
always encouraged them to, like, be their best, and I think that's why their families loved me
mm,
because I wanted to encourage and inspire the very best, and same way as I run this house with my kids, like, they will perform at their very best. They're gonna
Mhm.
disappoint, and that's fine, we all have failures, we gotta learn. So inspirational, and I hope with real estate, with some of our designs and things that we do for others, um,
Love it.
yeah, with the design aesthetic, so intentional, inspirational, and humble, and the reason
Mm.
why I chose humble is because it doesn't matter if we gain all of these things, but if you lose who you are, and if let's say you have a couple deals go south or somebody wrongs you in a way, like to not have your heart hardened by that is
Mhm.
really hard. And so I don't ever want to get to a place where my heart becomes so hardened where I think more of myself than others, or I start to disregard or discredit other people's values or opinions because I think I'm always right or because I was wrong. Like I always want to have a soft enough heart to have words land on it in a way that I can help transform them or the lives of others.
awesome.
So good. Oh my goodness, guys. So deep and great,
Took a
great,
warm
great.
hug right
I
here.
know. So good. So here's what I want you guys to do, and everyone that's listening. I hope you came up with your 3 words to describe who you want to be. Take time to think about it. Pause the podcast. Think about it. And when you've done that, what I do in my life, you pick a time of day, put an alarm on your phone to set it to every single day and say those words to yourself at
Mm,
the same time every day. Guys, this has transformed who I am today. Every day I tell myself I want to be a servant leader, I want to be knowledgeable, I want to be blunt, I want to be respectful every single day. And I'm telling you that there are times when my alarm goes off and I'm being a jerk to my wife. In that moment, I have to remember my vow to myself and say, I'm a servant leader. It's hard to be a servant leader being a jerk.
mm,
So it reminds you and slaps you back into place as to who you told yourself you want to be. And it's okay if you're not that person today, but this is who I want to be. And so this reminder to self every single day is going to change your life. It's going to change you showing up in a different way. It like, just like do it. Set your alarms right now and
mhm,
do it. Say this. Your spouse may think you're crazy the first couple of times because every day it's going to go off and you're going to just say these words out loud. Let that vibration run through your chest and say it. You're going to believe it and you're going to show up as to who you say you want to be.
awesome.
Fantastic.
Mic drop.
Yeah. You guys, this has been an incredible show. Keston, did you want to add any last pearls? Which I have to just preface, Oscar and I had no idea what we were walking into today. We had zero time to plan or prepare.
Hmm.
So this was a treat to us too. So Keston, thank you so much for bringing this to us.
Yeah, no problem. Guys, listen to this show, share it with your spouse, share it with your business partner. This show really has the ability to change your life and show up differently for your family, for everything. And so take it very seriously. Actually write these things down, see it on paper, because there's something that happens when you see this stuff on paper and it just makes you it just gets really deep within your soul. And so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely did. This is a exercise that I do very often to just refocus, realign, and get the new thing that I'm working on, or just what's the next step? What am I feeling uncertain about? Because what you're feeling uncertain about today, you may figure out in 90 days. And so you have a new thing that you're uncertain about. And so continue to do this stuff, these questions often, so that you continue to grow, you continue to ask yourself the deep questions of what you really need to work on, so that in the other episodes, in planning your 90 days, you're always clear as to where you're going.
Awesome. So this is the first episode of 4 that we're doing here in December about planning to get you to where you want to be in 2022. So we can't wait to see you guys in the next episode. If you guys again got something out of this, please drop us a line below, subscribe, and we would be happy to connect with you. Okay, guys, that's it.
See ya. Peace.
See ya.
Bye.
Hey guys, it's Melissa here, and thank you so much for joining us again for part 1 and part 2 of our Clarity series. We hope that you guys got something out of that series, because you know what? We're asking you to get vulnerable, get deep, and answer those questions in a place where you can go ahead and sit by yourself and really figure out why you're doing what you're doing. And hopefully this will help you get you back on the right path or continue forward on that journey of real estate. So again, if you guys like what you hear, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. Again, we do this free out of our time, out of our day, just to inspire and intentionally pour our gifts into y'all. So again, hit that subscribe button below. We can't wait to see you again on the next episode of The Intentional Investor. Until next time.